What's up guys, Moonrider here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about a brand new keyboard that I recently bought, the GravaStar Mercury K1. It features a unique futuristic design, custom GravaStar Kailh linear switches, gasket mount structure with sound dampening, a 1000Hz polling rate, tri-mode connectivity, an epically massive battery, and 2 independent systems of customizable RGB lighting to bring out that sci-fi aesthetic. I'm not gonna lie, as a gaming tech enthusiast, I'm a huge fan of GravaStar peripherals. I've worked with the brand twice in the past when they first gifted me their Mercury M1 Pro mouse, and then later on with their K1 Lite keyboard. I've enjoyed using both of these peripherals so much they've been mainstays on my desk ever since I got them. There might be times where I would switch over to one of my other keyboards for a day or two, but 99.5% of the time I was using the K1 Lite. At a quick glance, it probably looks like I just bought the same keyboard again, just in white. And while having the option to get it in white was a big one, there's actually several key differences between the K1 and the K1 Lite, where the Lite uses a transparent black PVC chassis, a single top-facing RGB system, 4000 mAh battery, and no volume controller. The K1 uses an aluminum alloy chassis, dual independent RGB systems for keycap backlighting, and side-mounted chassis accents. It utilizes an 8000 mAh battery, literally double that of the Lite, and it has a metal volume toggle at the top right. That being said, those really were just extra perks for me. I mainly just wanted a clean white keyboard to match with the rest of my on-desk peripherals. I mean, I like my aesthetics. I have a lot of white periffs and hardware, accessories, and decorations, and the K1 in white really looks incredible in the setup. Anyway, as a gaming tech enthusiast channel, I'm going to share more about what I like about this GravaStar keyboard in case you're interested in adding one to your setup or keyboard collection. But real quick, I just want to say I already mentioned I bought this keyboard with my own money, but even if I hadn't, I would still say what I wanted to say about it, good or bad, because I'm not here to serve as the mouth of Sauron for GravaStar or any brand. I review gaming tech that I'm actually interested in using, and I give my own take on what I like and don't like about a product. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I don't have anything negative to say about this keyboard. I just absolutely love it, and I think others will too. But at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your decision. I'm not gonna go off like some lumpy space princess influencer and tell you, oh my god, you're like, need this keyboard. I'm like, nah, you do you. I'm just here to share the gaming tech and products I enjoy using in my own setup. So let's jump into it. When you purchase a Mercury K1, you get the keyboard, Type A 2.4 GHz receiver, Type A to Type C cable, combo keycap and switch puller, cleaning brush and cloth, clear plastic keyboard cover, one spare switch, plus an assortment of like 3 trial switches. As for the main attraction, the Mercury K1 is a compact 75% keyboard with 79 keys plus volume knob. Compared to the K1 Lite, GravaStar booted the insert key, dropped delete down, and popped in this toggle switch. In my opinion, I don't see this as any loss. I actually find the insert key rather annoying, especially when I accidentally and very frequently fat finger it and turn it on. The K1 is available in 6 color schemes ranging from clean to sleek to cozy and just kawaii AF. So it's pretty much an option for every vibe or aesthetic. There's gradient white, gradient black, ice blue, sakura pink, stealth black, and lavender purple. Like all the rest of GravaStar's lineup, the K1 utilizes a unique futuristic exoskeleton design. The aluminum alloy chassis looks out of this world with these beautifully sculpted, smooth curved edges and a subtle texture that doesn't snag on fabrics like sleeves or microfiber rags. Meanwhile, in the bottom right corner is a colorful backlit GravaStar logo. When the colors are cycling, it means caps lock is turned off, and when caps is activated, the backlight turns solid white. And speaking of backlighting, the K1 features dual independent RGB systems in the form of traditional top-facing keycap backlighting and side-facing chassis backlighting. As a big fan of RGB, I love the level of customization these 2 independent systems provide. While both systems have limited functionality through keyboard function commands, GravaStar's Mercury software opens up far more potential for color customization, individual color keycap assignments, plus much more. Now, keycaps use a white to dark gray gradient color design that I think looks fine enough. The factory ones are still PBT with a very subtle textured grip. Legends are side mounted and shine through, which means south facing LED backlighting. When it comes to the side legends, for me, I much prefer this style. I think it looks cleaner and even a little more modern compared to traditional top-facing legends. Now let's move on to the two most crucial elements of a gaming keyboard, and that's sound and feel, otherwise switches and sound dampening. It doesn't matter how cool a keyboard looks if it sounds tinny and hollow, rattles, or if the switches are too heavy, too light, or just unsatisfying to press. The reason the K1 Lite was my favorite keyboard for so long, since last June 2025, is because it hit the mark for me and my preferences across the board. And the K1 continues on that trajectory. For starters, the K1 uses custom linear switches made in partnership by GravaStar and Kailh. These switches offer 1.5 millimeters of pre-travel, 3.5 millimeters of total travel, and require 40 grams force to actuate. On top of that, the switch stems are all made of palm construction, which delivers a very smooth typing experience, while extended springs give the switches a heavier feel with a slower curve. Now, if you prefer different switches, the K1 is hot swappable with most 3 and 5 pin switches. All that considered, I've really been enjoying the K1 for typing, but more so for gaming, since I've done much more of that with this new keyboard in the last week or so. Just as a gamer, not a keyboard expert or anything like that, I think these switches offer a great balance between being light and easy to press, so my fingers don't cramp up or get tired, and providing enough resistance and requiring enough force that keys aren't mistapped or just don't feel dead and weightless. They're also not overly loud, so your squad's headsets shouldn't be exploding with the sound of you frantically button mashing, but I'm not sure if you'd want one for office use if you work in close-knit cubicles. However, if you have your own dedicated office, work from home, or just have more space between you and your next closest coworker, I think it would be fine. These switches are a little thocky, but the gasket mounts and 5 layers of sound dampening along with the palm switch construction do mute the sound profile a bit. Like many other keyboards on the market, the Mercury K1 is a tri-mode keyboard. If you're unfamiliar with the term, it means you can connect it to a PC with a wired USB Type-C cable, plug in the included 2.4G dongle, which is apparently somewhere else, to a USB port on your PC, or connect via Bluetooth to your PC, tablet, or other mobile device. Typically, if you're using the keyboard on PC, you'll get the best wireless response and stability using the 2.4G dongle, which you'll find magnetically slotted to the underside of the keyboard like I should have right here. On the rear side is where you'll find the toggle for Bluetooth, off or wired mode, and 2.4G. There's even a Windows Mac switch over here if you're looking to connect to a Mac device like iMac, Mac Studio, etc. As for setting up Bluetooth, make sure the toggle is switched over to BT, then hold function plus 1, 2, or 3 for 3 seconds until the LED begins flashing rapidly. Then search for K1_5.0. With function plus 1, 2, 3, you can maintain up to 3 connected devices at a time. So you can have it paired to your tablet on function plus 2, or switch it over to a Mac station with function plus 3, or pair it to your Windows PC with function plus 1. Now the battery in the K1 is epically huge at 8,000 mAh, which GravaStar claims is good for up to 470 hours with RGB off, which is nuts. GravaStar themselves, on their site, don't seem to provide an estimate for how long the battery might last when RGB is on, but my K1 Lite was rated for up to 235 hours with RGB off, and I only ever had to charge it maybe every 3 weeks. So in theory, the K1 should last much longer than that. Of course, if you want to extend the battery life as long as possible, within GravaStar's Mercury software, there is an option to adjust the keyboard sleep timer to conserve power. The slider offers a range from as low as 1 minute up to 20. As someone who always has RGB turned on, I think this is a great feature to have enabled. Also within the software, you'll find an option called debounce. I'm not 100% sure how it comes standard, but my K1 was set to stage 1 and I was experiencing issues where I'd get double or triple key actuations from one key press, And since adjusting this up to stage 4, that issue has stopped occurring. So if you have a GravaStar keyboard and you experience this issue, get the software from gravastar.com and check your debound settings. Lastly, I want to talk about where you can buy this, and this might be rather useful information if you are considering purchasing a Mercury K1. There are 2 places you can buy these: Amazon, at least Amazon US, I don't know about the other countries, Amazon US, and gravastar.com. The Amazon list price for the K1 is $139.95, but I got it on sale for 21% off for $110.45. And since I'm a Prime member, I got free shipping, and because of my location, I received it the same day. Meanwhile, over at gravastar.com, the K1 is listed for $129.95, $10 cheaper than Amazon, but for all orders below $130, you have to pay $10 standard shipping because you missed it by 5 cents. I believe items ordered through GravaStar's website also take a few days to even ship, plus another several days to arrive depending on where you live. So there's a scenario out there where you might be waiting a week to receive your purchase. If you don't like shopping on Amazon, it's not available in your area, or if you're not a Prime member. That being said, if shopping through GravaStar's website is your only option and you find yourself 5 cents short, so you have to pay $10 for shipping, here's what you can do. Go to their accessories and pick out a wrist rest, mouse pad, or keycap switch puller that might potentially be on sale for $8.95. I saw these prices when I was pricing mine out. You'd actually save yourself $1, but also get yourself essentially a free product since you would have had to pay $10 anyway. So there you go. Shop smart, especially in this economy. Anyway, that's been my show and tell of GravaStar's Mercury K1. I love this thing. I genuinely do. And I know this keyboard isn't perfect despite how happy I am with it and how happy I've been with its budget-friendly cousin, the K1 Lite. I know the design is polarizing. People seem to either love it or hate it, and that's perfectly understandable. One thing I read just the other night about these keyboards is a lot of people who love the overall design hate the logo on the front. Oh, it's flashing again. I didn't fully charge it since, who hate the logo on the front. And it never bothered me before in the slightest, but now I do notice it more. I still don't hate it, but making the logo so large and such a dark black on a white chassis keyboard was a bit too bold. Looking at it now, I think a gray or silver would have been more subtle and appropriate. Oh well, nothing has to be perfect for you to love it. Thanks for watching. Later.